What's up, everybody? This is Julie with another episode of my favorite episode of. Today, Kathleen is back.
She's back.
She is back. Matt, put on the Eminem song. Guess who's back? Back again.
Hey.
Man, we really should have planned that intro. That would have been so good. Anyways, Kathleen is gracing us with her presence again, and we are very excited to have her back. So thank you for coming back on.
Yes, I figured I'd pick a show you didn't have to fake like.
I know. I'm a fraud, aren't I?
Fucking fraud.
So Kathleen picked Grey's Anatomy, which if you're a active listener, you will know that a couple weeks ago I brought up Grey's Anatomy and how it has to end, and then I said Kathleen will kill me that I said that. So I think that's why she picked it, to be like, fuck you.
I'm going to spend this entire day proving you wrong.
And not to mention Kathleen picked 2 episodes. I don't know. Kathleen thinks she's like an MVP member and she can just do whatever the fuck she wants.
I must.
So she picked episode 23 and 24 of season 6 of Grey's Anatomy, Sanctuary, and Death and All His Friends.
It's a 2-part finale. You can't just do one. That's insane.
That's true. No, it wouldn't have made sense if she just picked one.
I thought you would have been hype about this.
No,
this is why you watch drama TV. Like, these episodes are why you watch this kind of show.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I'm not trying to cry at fucking 9 o'clock in the morning.
I know. I watched them this morning too. Oh, sorry. Wait for the mic. I watched them this morning too, so I was going to watch them yesterday, but I was like, I gotta get in the mindset of Gary Clark. Like, let me get inside that and figure out
Gary
why
Clark
he's doing
is the active shooter, just so you know.
Yes. I mean, so the point is, episode 19 or something, his wife has cancer, but she doesn't wake up from a surgery, but she signed a DNR or a whatever. So they have to pull the plug legally, but he's all upset, of course. He's like an older guy. And then he ends up suing the hospital. So he's in a few episodes before this finale. But that's the whole best, because you don't know he's ever going to come back. And then right in the beginning of the episode, he walks by. Oh my God.
Well, because for those of you who don't watch Grey's Anatomy, for the most part, patients, they come and go. There's not
sure.
They're not, for the most part, they're not a main character that's on the show often, right? It's sure. And it's just hospital life. They change every day.
Grey's Anatomy does a good job at making the B plot characters mean something to you each episode. That's why it's so popular. It's because you fall in love with these characters and then they either end up getting saved or dying at the end, but then you never see them again. Right. There's the exception, Henry season 7, Denny season 2. Denny. I know who become main characters, and then season 2, people talk about Denny dying still, and he was in 6
spoiler
episodes.
If you're watching it.
I mean, we're talking about season 6, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, Denny.
This is one of the hard hitters.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you go. This was a mistake. This is a mistake. I look good play gun. I'm wearing.
I didn't even notice. Kathleen is wearing a gray and Sloan Memorial Hospital crew neck. That's amazing. Thank you for getting into character.
Of course.
Believe it or not, there's going to be people that have never watched Grey's Anatomy. So why don't you give them a very, very brief, not 3-hour long summary?
Should I go through all 16 seasons
of what the show's about?
Okay. So it's set in Seattle. You're following Meredith Grey, aka Grey's Anatomy, which is based off the book Grey's Anatomy, in case you were wondering. I think Grey is spelled differently, but whatever. So it starts as her as an intern. On the first episode, she's an intern, and then it goes 16 seasons of her being a doctor. There's really, without me talking for 3 hours, there's no real whatever, but there's a intern crew that you start with, and then you gain people along the way. And that's kind of why I chose season 6, because you're in the sweet spot of characters. 1 through 5, you have the interns, and you get introduced to characters like Sloane, Lexi, Callie, but they're not in the middle of where they get their own plot line. So 6, you lose Izzy and George. Spoiler alert, whatever. But but now you get the Mercy Westers, who you hate in the beginning. But you get the Mercy Westers, you have Arizona and Callie and Sloane and Lexi, and everyone's full throttle into their storyline. So season 6 is really good. I was gonna choose I saw what I saw in season 6, which is an early episode, but Ellen Pompeo was pregnant in the beginning of season 6, so she's not even in that episode. I'm not gonna choose an episode where Meredith's not even in it. Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, well, let's get into it, because all right, here's my theory, right? So Bridget, who we both know, one of my best friends, she just started watching Grey's Anatomy, and I'm like, she loves it, obviously. But I'm like, who is an adult, like an age from 18 above, who hasn't watched Grey's Anatomy? That's insane. It's like 16 seasons of like heartache and good
True.
TV. I mean, I'm the first to admit 11, 12, 13 were pretty bad, but it picks it right back up. Like, it's good TV still.
It came back, like it bounced back.
Where are you at?
I think I stopped at like season, what are they on right now? 16?
16.
Probably like 14. I haven't watched.
So that's when it starts picking back up.
Okay.
So Grey's like...
Because I started to fall off.
Yeah, Grey's in the beginning, like the whole point of it is like it's super dramatic, but it also has like these very quirky moments that like ease the tension, which is the best part. It's funny, it's good drama, good twists. But then they lost it along the way, and they're just trying to like one up themselves, and they're running out of storylines. But they've kind of fallen back into that like quirkiness where it's like fun and you're like grooving. So, I mean, I'd watch them just all sit around a table and hang out. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about this show so much, and I like that you picked season 6, where like all, in my opinion, like the best characters are.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's part of the reason why I started to fall off, is because like they really like either like killed off or people left like some of the best characters.
Who was a game changer leaving for you? Like, who upset you the most?
I love Callie.
Me too. They really
her.
fucked Callie out.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. After listening to my other episode, I was like, maybe I shouldn't curse so much on this one.
No, it's okay. I think like every other word I say is fuck, if we're being
my
honest.
boss at work listened to it and was like, yeah, you cursed a lot. I was like, he's gonna listen to this one too.
Oh my god. Is he like a fan, or is he a Kathleen fan?
Who?
Your boss.
What does that mean?
Like, does he listen actively, or does he only listen to what you're on?
Oh yeah.
He's a
I thought you
Kathleen
meant,
fan?
I was like, yeah, he's a big fan of me. Of course.
He loves me.
He loves me. But no, yeah. I thought you meant of the show. No, I don't think he listens.
Wow, fuck you.
I know. Fuck you, Dylan.
Dylan. You know what? Fuck off.
Getting fired.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. We won't pay you, but you can just come on the podcast.
I'm in.
Anyways, so Callie was like a hard hit for me.
Sure.
Lexi, loved her.
Oh yeah.
Loved her. Mark, like there's just so many good ones. Like, they got rid of people that you like genuinely just start to love.
All the good ones left on their own accord, which sucks. Derek, everyone you just named, everyone left on their own accord, which is like you can't really be mad at it.
This isn't your favorite episode of the show, is it? Because there's so many seasons, but I didn't.
Yeah. Well, see, with this, like, I've watched the show so many times. I've been watching since I was a kid. There's, like, moments I love. I wouldn't say I have a favorite one episode, but, like, the whole series, there's just, like, certain moments I love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this was in her book or if it was just in an article I read when Christina left, but Christina left in season 10. She got like the best send off ever, but Shonda Rhimes, the creator of the show, was like, this isn't a love story between Meredith and Derek. It's a love story between Meredith and Christina. And I was like, oh yeah, it is,
power.
baby. Friendship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't beat it. But yeah, so Christina was my favorite character, but they still try and incorporate her. They'll throw her in like text messages, or it's like, oh, Christina's calling.
Right.
She'll come back for one of the like later, like in the last season, she'll come back for an episode. There's no way she doesn't.
So, give a quick summary of what this episode is about for those who've never watched it, or these episodes.
Sure. So, like I said, Gary Clark was suing the hospital because he didn't want his wife to die, although she was brain dead and there was literally no way she was ever going to wake up. So, in the beginning, you see Meredith kind of walking through the halls, and she's doing this speech in the beginning of every Grey's episode. They do a little monologue, and she's saying like, people hate hospitals, it scares them, blah blah blah. But she's like, I grew up here, I love it here. Correction, I loved it here. And then you see Gary Clark like walk by. So in season 6, they merge hospitals with another Seattle hospital, and you get these new characters, and you kind of hate them all, but you end up loving 2 of them because they make it past this specific episode. But they do a good job where it's like, okay, they introduce you to these new characters, you get them all of season 6, and while at the end of these 2 episodes you don't get a major death, you get 2 deaths of those characters. So it's like you still get high stakes, and other people get like shot and whatever, but only those 2 die. But Reed is the worst, and she gets shot point blank in the fucking forehead in the beginning, and it's so lit. But then they shoot Alex, which is great because later on, that's like the love triangle thing. Sloane and Lexi see like the elevator doors open to Alex. That's like everyone in the hospital is stuck where they're at because they go on lockdown. not necessarily everybody wants to be with who they're stuck with, which is like classic drama. But yeah, so that's a love triangle happening. You got Mandy Moore as a guest star, which is the best. I'm like the president of the Mandy Moore fan club.
And it's so crazy because I mean, this obviously came out way before, but then watching her, I'm just like thinking of Rebecca Pearson.
I know, but I don't know. I mean, I loved Because I Said So. I wasn't really like a Walk to Remember fan. Like I don't know why. I just feel like I just love Mandy Moore so much.
Yeah,
I can remember watching this, and that's like a great example of them bringing someone on for the first time, and you feel like they're a character you already know, and you're like pulling for them, and she's so fucking good in it. I love it.
No, she's definitely like the best patient in this episode.
I mean, after all this heartache, I mean, Christ, you watch 2 episodes of just holding your breath, whatever, and then in like beginning of season 7 they kill her off. Like she survives the shooter, and then she dies because she just doesn't wake up from the anesthesia. Spoiler alert. This is crazy.
So many spoilers. We actually might have to have producer Matt record himself in the beginning just saying, if you're watching Grey's Anatomy, don't watch.
I mean, there's a statute of limitations. Like, come on, it's on season 16. If you haven't watched Grey's Anatomy yet, you don't get to.
Yeah, we do kind of say what season we're going to talk about. So
yeah,
if you choose to listen and you're not at season 6 yet, that's your own fault.
I mean, Bridget was doing pretty good, not spoiled at all. And then our friend Sarah said something like, it sucks that George dies in season 5. And Bridget was like, what? Like, why would you tell me that? I'm like, that is an awful thing to say.
Not to like get off topic, but it's still on the topic of Grey's Anatomy, but when they reveal that like George is the one that's all
I know,
fucked up,
007.
Oh my God.
I know.
It's so good.
There's like the hard-hitting episodes in almost every season. You've got like Denny, you've got the bomb, Mare drowning, George dying, then you have the plane crash and this and that. I have a few episodes in season 8 which are my favorite string of episode. It's like Heart-Shaped Box, Put Me in Coach, and the one where Henry dies. I can't remember, but it's such good TV. But I will agree, after 9 where like Lexi and Sloane die and like Arizona loses her leg, it's like, okay, it's gets sad. Like it's way more drama than like the quirky fun stuff, so it's kind of hard to watch. But
so back to the original episode that we're talking about. So in the beginning, Meredith finds out that she's pregnant, and it's just like so exciting. Like you're just like, fuck yeah.
Because the whole season, like in the beginning she's unsure she wants to be pregnant, but Derek wants to start having kids, so she goes in to try and tell him, but he's like preoccupied, so she's like, I'll tell you later. It's so exciting. Like the episode does a really good job with music, just like the music they lay in the background is like so almost eerie, or just like something bad is gonna happen. And then you see, so April runs into Reed's shot, which is her best friend, slips on it, which is hilarious, so good, and then goes into Derek's office and is dripping in blood.
I fucking hate April Kepner. I hate her.
Still?
I hate her.
Okay, well, that's the thing. I like, this came out in 2010, so I was in high school. I can remember watching this live and with commercials. It was fucking torture, but she was the worst. I mean, and later we'll talk about how she gets Derek shot. I mean, it's like, she is the worst, but I say she redeems herself. I really loved April. I was so pissed when they fire her, and Sarah Drew and Jessica Capshaw, when they fire her and them in real life, like Arizona and April, is like, I think it's bullshit.
Oh, they actually fired them from the show?
They just didn't renew their contracts, which is insane, because like they didn't kill either of them off. So it just like doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I didn't realize that they fired them.
They just didn't renew their contracts, and then they like brought on some new people. But it's like, I don't think it was worth it. I thought Arizona and April were good enough to keep. You can like ditch Owen. I get Owen out. By the end, Owen is trash. Without Christina, he's nothing.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway.
So you find out that Meredith's pregnant. And there's just like, the one good thing about Grey's Anatomy is like you get a little story from like each main character and like what they're doing in the beginning of the episode, and then throughout the entire episode it flashes back to like what's going on with that specific character and their patient. So you kind of get like an introduction of everyone. Like Kathleen said, you get an introduction of Mandy Moore and like what's her deal.
She's with Bailey.
She's with Dr. Bailey, and like the relationship that they have. She starts off like fucking strong. You just love her automatically. You're like, wow. Even though it's like not even just being Mandy Moore, just like her character is so good.
Yeah, they're just cute, talking about like pizza and shit. She just wants to eat pizza. It's so cute. It really is.
She's a catheter. She's walking around with her own shit.
Yeah. Just, So it's good. So you see, like, they show you Gary Clark, and he's like there's something going on. But then they flash back, and Mare tells Christina that she's pregnant. It's like a really like cute moment, and they're like bopping around. You see like Mare and Owen are broken up. Teddy and Owen are talking, like all this stuff, and then you see Gary Clark walking around, and he's like frustrated, asking for the chief's office. So you know that's where he's going, but everyone's blowing him off, pissing him off. That's why he shoots Reed, and then Alex walks in, and then, which is great, like. He gets on the elevator with Christina, and this is right after Christina has like a thing with Owen. And the one time Christina's not like a major douchebag is like she tells him where to go, and it's so good. Like, because you're just like knows he has a gun in his pocket, and she's just like, he's like, "Where's the chief's office?" And she tells him exactly where to go, like nice and sweet. I'm like, you're just holding your breath. That's the point. This whole episode, you're just holding your breath the entire time. It's so good.
Right. Yeah. So when April goes into Derek's office, and Derek is the chief of surgery at this point, and she's covered in blood. She's like shaking. She can't really like. She starts talking about like her life on the farm growing up, and like you're just like sitting on your couch watching. Like, just get to the fucking point. Like, you just found your friend dead. Like, whatever. So she eventually says like what happened, and he tells her to stay in the office, and that he puts the whole hospital on lockdown because there's an active shooter in the hospital. So everyone's on lockdown. Naturally, Christina and Meredith do not take it seriously.
The best. Like, is that not the best? They're literally, it's just like, maybe there's a crazy axe murderer on the list. Like, it's so good. They're just like bopping around.
Yeah, so they don't care. They're just like walking around the hospital like it's no one's business. And then...
You get major Derek pouty face this whole, like those like eyebrows where he's just looking into your soul the entire episode. It's so good.
I know. I actually wrote in my notes, Derek equals heartthrob.
He truly is. He's only gets better with age. He's still smoking hot.
I know.
He really is. But yeah, so then Lexi and Sloan find Alex, so they're working on him. Bailey almost gets, like, the shooter eventually finds Bailey, Charles, and Mandy. Mandy plays dead, all this stuff. So then Bailey says she's a nurse instead of a surgeon.
Yeah, so because the whole thing was
when she gets pulled out onto the thing.
Yeah. The whole thing was, like, the shooter was after, Mr. Clark was after the... any surgeon. So like if he came up to like a nurse, he wouldn't shoot her because the nurse didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's interesting because we know that the doctors did nothing wrong. Like they truly didn't. There's no lawsuit that can actually put, she signed a paper. All it was where he wanted her hooked up to those machines for forever. He didn't care if she wasn't going to wake up. He wanted her to, but he didn't care. He just wanted her to be alive, pumped to those machines. But she signed a paper because obviously, like, it's not good for either party to be like living like that. But we know that there's nothing like that they could have done, and this guy is just like a genuinely sweet guy, but he's just like gone mad because
he's like off the deep end.
Yeah.
So Bailey survives because she lies and says that she is a nurse.
The person gets shot.
Yeah. And the active shooter leaves, and she's trying to, there's just like so much.
Yeah, so that's
so much like different issues that they all have, right? Mm-hmm. So like Charles gets shot, and now Bailey's like, her goal is to save him.
Sure. And the good thing about that is Percy sucks. Like, you don't like him in season 6. You don't care. You hate Reed too. But they did good where it's like Reed's just dead right away, and now you feel bad for April because of that, because that's her best friend. But with Percy, he lives the entire episode until both episodes until the very end. And then you're like, damn it, I just started liking him. Like, he's like, Bailey, you're my favorite doctor. Like, tell Reed I loved her. You're just like, shit.
I know. And
good songs playing during
I totally forgot that how quickly Reed does die. Like, I actually think I yelled when I was watching on my couch because I was like, fuck, I didn't realize it happened that quick.
Yeah.
Like,
I can remember like watching in my bedroom as a junior in high school, and then like a commercial would go, and I'm like fucking sprinting around my house.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. It's so good. 2 full hours of just pure intense.
Yeah, and the entire episode, like, I just kept getting like chills. Like,
yeah,
it's just
me
like
too.
you're just like shook the whole time
my hair
watching
was
it.
Up.
Yeah,
it's good. But I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't want to hop too far.
Well, the one thing, so I liked the how, so we talked about Meredith and Christina. For those of you that don't watch the show, they're like best friends, inseparable. They have like the best fucking relationship of all time.
Best friends.
Yeah. And they're joking about like, oh, maybe we're on lockdown because there's an axe murderer on the loose.
Yeah.
So then they're walking, and they're talking about how they're walking around the hospital, and keep in mind, no one is around. They don't even notice that it is a ghost town.
Yeah, it truly is.
Like no one is around. And they're talking about how Christina asks if Meredith told Derek yet that she's pregnant, and she's like, no, he was in a mood. I'm going to tell him when I get home. But are you excited to have a godchild? And that's where they reveal that Christina's going to be the godparent. And like I wrote down about like the foreshadow of the conversation, because they talk about like how you're not a godparent until the parents die.
I know.
And it's
well, they say plane crash, and then they're like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. They like wrote that line. They're like writing the entire season 8 finale based on that.
Right. But yeah, so there's like that like foreshadow there of like, yeah, like if me or Derek die, like the baby's yours. And then what, like 10 minutes later, it gets to the scene where Derek's held at gunpoint.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last 5 or so minutes of the episode. It's the most intense. Derek is always like stoic and can talk his way out of anything, and he is like gun in his face, shot on that long, whatever that like corridor, I would say, like in front of the big window. It's like they shoot that shot a lot. And so Merritt and Christina are watching through the glass from far away. So Gary and Derek can't see them, but they can see everything happen. He talks her down. He does this whole speech like, I'm a good man. I can see it in your eyes. Can you see it in mine? My dad got shot at gunpoint. Like, oh my God. And then fucking April he puts his gun down, and then April runs out. And I can remember being like, no. But the slow-mo and the song that plays in the beginning, the like really creepy, like slow song that plays in the beginning of the episode plays at the end, when like the minute April runs out to be like, oh, Dr. Shepard, blah, blah, blah. And then he just lists slow-mo. He lists the guns, and Derek turns around and he's like, no. That's still like getting shot. Like, that is such a good scene. Like the way, I always think the way he gets shot, I'm like, damn, that's not bad. It's good acting.
Dude.
But it's good. So then that's the whole premise of the second.
You get so mad at April. Like, you're fucking April.
But it's good because now I know, like, if I'm ever being held at gunpoint, I know what to do. Oprah tells us you gotta just tell him all the facts
all about your life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to get like my name out. I'd be so scared.
Oh my God, no. I always say that. I feel like I said this on the last podcast, but I'm like, if I'm ever in a zombie apocalypse, just fucking kill me first. I don't want to deal with that. Me and Scott just watched Zombieland, and I was like, no, just fuck me up. Just kill me right in the beginning.
Why suffer?
I mean, I don't think that's actually what I do, but after watching like 10 seasons of The Walking Dead, I'm like, no, just what is this doing for me? What is worth living in this dirty, hungry, scary place? So Grey's Anatomy.
So the ending of the first part 1 of this episode is when Derek gets shot. Mm-hmm. So you're like super shook, and you're just like, fuck, what the fuck? And I was thinking about that, like as I'm watching it on Netflix, I'm like, can you imagine watching this live and like you have to wait until next week to find out?
No,
like,
you didn't. It's 2 in 1 night. 2 hours straight.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I can remember talking to you about Grey's like in middle school. Like we watched
OG.
We
were watching Grey's Anatomy when we were like 12.
We shouldn't have been.
No,
fuck no. But we were like OG. Like we watched in the beginning live.
Yeah.
And then you stopped and then re-binged on Netflix, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
it's
How
crazy.
to Save a Life was like our song.
I know. We have a ton of songs.
We're surgeons.
We really do. All My Life.
Oh, God.
We love you, Dom.
Yeah, I hope you're listening to this, Dom, and you see that I'm out here thriving, okay, with Kathleen on my podcast.
She's not married yet, Dom.
Yeah.
You can still cut in.
Producer Matt is so uncomfortable.
You gotta cut this clip and send it to Dom. Anastasia?
Oh my God, she's just dropping names left and right. I try to hide my identity on this show, and you just blessed me.
You can name drop what
Ryan
you said.
Remigio.
I used to put my profile.
Kathleen was like 13, and in her profile, it's so true.
It's not true. Does this sound like me,
in
listeners?
In her profile, it said like, let me cater to you, and like with like the less than sign and then the 3, and it had like uppercase, lowercase, and then it said like I-L-Y, right?
There is no shot that I put cater to you lyrics in my AIM profile. There is just no shot, although that song rocks.
It's true. Okay, back to the episode. Now that everyone knows that embarrassing story about Kathleen.
Keep them coming.
That should be your wedding song.
I'm not embarrassed because it's made up.
No, it's not. I wouldn't.
Jewel's put it there. Jewel's is the one who hacked my aim and put it there. If anything, there's like Grey's Anatomy quotes because I'm an OG fan.
Yeah, it was like it's a beautiful day to save lives and hearts.
Beautiful day to save lives.
Anyways, okay.
Pick me, choose me. I think that's a corny ass line. So they come back and beginning of episode 2, Derek is shot. Finally, Meredith and Christina run over because Gary Clark goes away, but they get to him and Meredith's like, I pick you, I choose you. And it's like, okay, all right. No, I mean, they're just trying to see. I mean, I love it, but it's like Corn City. It's bad. Yeah. But yeah, so then they try to get him to a doctor. I mean, we're streamlining this. This is like, they keep showing every other scene is all the different doctors. So this isn't like one big scene, but they eventually try to get them to an attending because he's shot in the chest, gunshot wound to the chest. But Christina ends up having to be the one to do it, which is like one of the best scenes. They say, Mare and April, you can't watch, you can't do anything, you have to stay.
Oh my God,
and then
easily the best fucking scene.
It really is. And so they're not looking, and Owen finally gets down there, who's an attending they're just residents. They really shouldn't be operating alone. Christina's working on Derek, and Owen walks in. You can tell that like something's up. We don't know anything, and then you finally get Owen goes in just to like check things out, and it's Gary with like his gun to Christina's head. Oh
it's
man,
so good. That's really another like chill scene. Like you get chills so bad.
I mean, the whole thing. There's a lot of good monologues in this scene. Like a lot of good, or in these 2 episodes, like a lot of good speeches. Mare's speech. I mean, Unreal. Weber's at the end. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, no, it is. And just like Kathleen said, you see that there's like pure like something is wrong when the camera goes on Owen, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah, because Owen would have just walked in and be like, "Oh fuck," and like hopped right in, but he didn't. And then she's like, "Aren't you gonna scrub in?" She's like, "I think she's got it."
He's like, "Let me just check on things," but it looks like everything's going fine. And then like it shoots to like Christina, and she has a gun to her head, and she's like crying, but she's still working on him.
I remember like when Jackson's like. Finally, like he ends up shooting Owen because Meredith walks in and is like, "Shoot me, you want an eye for an eye." I'm the closest thing Weber's had to a daughter, Lexi Gray. She's my sister, and the man on the table is my husband. Shoot me, and then Owen gets shot. But then Jackson like figures out how to unplug the wires, and I'm like, I mean, Mare crying. I'm like, this is so intense. I know. It is insanely intense. So producer Matt wished he watched these episodes.
Yeah, he's just like sitting over there pouting, like he wished he knew what was going on. So Jackson is one of the what are they called? Like
Mercy Westers.
Yeah, but like he's lower than Meredith and Christina, right? Are they on the same level? No, they're the
same, but they had just come from Mercy West, so like he doesn't have like the authority, you're not Christina who's dating Owen or Meredith who's married to Derek and already have established.
So whatever. So he's helping her. And the whole thing is that the Mr. Clark has the gun to her head because he obviously doesn't fuck with surgeons, and he's trying to force her to stop working on him so he can die, because the whole point of him even doing this is all he wanted was Derek dead. So Jackson comes in saving the fucking day.
Oh boy, does he.
Oh my God, it's so good. He like unplugs.
Jackson's so hot.
Oh, he's so hot. He unplugs like the monitor that's showing like whatever's like taped on him that shows like his heart.
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, I don't know. But he's like, you'll see, like it's gonna like flatline, like and
Mare's
we're done. And
she's
like,
to the ground.
Yeah, Meredith's like losing her mind. It makes like the like beep.
I see,
noise.
Like here, like I have a few issues with these episodes where it's like Gary was just shooting anyone in sight at one point, and then he like goes into one room to shoot Percy, but then like at the end of the episode he's like picking and choosing. Like if he really wanted to just get the job done, he'd shoot everybody in the room. Like I get it for drama, but like him shooting Percy was kind of like totally completely unnecessary. Like why would he go into one stupid baby room with 3 people in it? How did he see Miranda at the last second? Anyway, but I just think it's like that is an issue for me. I'm like, okay, he would have just shot Christina in the head. He's going to end up shooting himself. What does he care? And if he does, then he wouldn't have shot any of those other people in the beginning. 2, the SWAT team is like the worst SWAT team of all time. He literally, at one point, the SWAT team like shoots Gary in the shoulder, and Lexi like goes down thinking like he shot her, and then they're just like waving Lexi, and then Gary just gets up and walks away. It's like, fucking charge him and kill him. What are you doing?
I know. But he probably wasn't going on a shooting rampage because he only had a certain amount of bullets.
Well, I will get to that. I love that speech.
Yeah.
I have like a sensory thing sometimes, and there's 2 parts in this episode that I really like. This is like way, nobody's going to give a fuck about this, but I like it. So there's like a scene where Gary goes into the peds floor, and Callie and Arizona are there. That's another good speech that Callie gives about Arizona. But Callie kind of like talks him down just by giving him gauze for his thing, and the way she like slowly turns the gauze pads onto his hand, like the crunching of the thing gives me like, I'm like, my brain explodes. And then another one is at the end where Weber's talking to him, and like the sound of the clinking of the flask and the like the liquor coming out of it, I'm like, my brain explodes. I love it. Like I like look forward to those scenes. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm like stumping her. She's like, what do I say to that?
Yeah, I got nothing. But you know what? Good for you.
This is the only reason I came on this podcast to talk about those 2 things.
That's it. And that wraps
Sensory
it up.
overload.
So a lot of emotions watching this, right?
Yeah.
So like some scenes you're like super hype. The scene where flashing back. So I'm going like backwards basically because I'm going to talk about when.
I like that you like know this stuff and have seen it. Because like last time with Haunting of Hill House, it's like you only saw the one episode. I like that you have like some background.
I know. I can actually talk about this one.
Mm-hmm.
So far it's only been this and The Office, I think, of shows that I've watched.
You don't watch Parks and Rec?
Mm-mm.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, you know. If you listen to the episode, you'll know my feedback on that. Anyways, so flashing back to when is Percy, is that his last name?
Charles Percy.
Yeah, Percy. When Percy gets
Chucky
shot.
Percy.
When Percy gets shot, and Miranda gets pulled out from under the bed, but she doesn't get shot. And then the shooter leaves the room, and then they all just like break down.
Oh yeah.
Like that's like a sobbing
Where's
moment.
this water coming from?
Oh my god.
It's like you're crying.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's the whole episode is just like super emotional. Leave it to Kathleen to pick such a fucking dark episode because she's
Well, I mean, I have like favorites in random episodes, but like you said, not everyone's in every episode. This is a good one where it shows everybody, single person,
yeah. And it's when their cast was like at its
peak.
best,
It really is. And I love Izzy and George. Like the OG cast this is kind of like the second era, even though you really only lose those 2. This is like the second era when it really gets good. Like I'd say, I mean, 1 through 5 is OG Grays. It's like it feels like a different show. But then once it goes into these, like I would say 1 through 5 and then 6 through 10 is like, whew. 2 different eras, but both really, really good.
Yeah.
I would have chosen Christina's exit episode, but I was like, that's really late in the series. That's one of the best episodes, I think. Because she's my favorite character.
Yeah.
They gave her like the best. They gave her an entire commercial's worth of like promo ABC primetime commercials of just like Goodbye Christina episodes.
Yeah.
And then someone like Callie, who you said you love. You're freaking me out.
Oh, it's because I can't stop coughing. It's so
like I had to look up that she was leaving the show. Like her exit episode was like, she's just like, I'm moving to New York, and then they're like, okay.
Oh yeah. And she takes the daughter with her, right?
Yeah. I mean, they gave Sloane a good exit. Lex dies on the plane, obviously, but that's like
that would have been another good episode to talk about.
Yeah. That one would have been maybe easier because it's one episode. This is like a lot of junk. I feel like we're just talking through the episode without actually but I don't know.
There's just like a lot going on to be able to like focus on one thing. I feel
know.
Because as we're talking, like I'm like, man, we're just like shooting this shit, and like the people that didn't watch it are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Why would they? Do not, please put this in the beginning. Do not watch this or listen to this if you have not watched the series.
Definitely. Well, even just watch the 2 episodes first and then listen.
My brother like listened. I've been dying to get him to watch Haunting of Hill House, and he finally did. But he listened to this first, and I'm like, just watch the episode first. He's like, I loved it though. He's like, you made me want to watch it. I'm like, okay.
Wow, you're good.
I'm like, I mean the episode, not just me.
Remember we talked about stands in the last recording? Kathleen has stands.
What does that mean?
Oh my god.
Oh, stands. I think you said stance with a C. I'm like,
no.
Stance?
Stands, yeah.
Stands. I don't have stands.
You have stands. You got Dylan and Jimmy.
Shout out Dylan. Get me a promotion. What's up?
I really hope that works for you. I really
hope
that's all it takes.
Shot that is working for me.
So,
let's see. What do you got? Who's your favorite character of the show?
It's really hard to say because the cast in this episode, where it's like how we just said how we think it's like the best cast. Like I love all of them except
Sure.
April, and I just could never get past like the
Yeah, I mean they even like in her last season they fuck it up pretty good. Like she goes like she was like mega Jesus when she was like banging Jackson, and though she didn't want to be banging Jackson, lost her virginity to him, wanted to save herself for God. Whatever, that's good. But then she does.
He's
but then
worth
she's super
sinning for.
annoying about it, where it's like she keeps having sex with him, but then keeps blaming him for everything.
Yeah,
and
dude,
it's
she's
lame.
annoying as
But
fuck.
then she like loses God and is like going off the deep end and is like freaking out like game nights and like there's like a game night scene in season 13 or 14, I can't remember, that I physically cannot watch because it's so bad. It's like April just being like a mega, but I think she's good. Like I think she's turns out to be like a badass doctor. And
Yeah, I don't know. She, I think, like, was just so painful to me.
yeah, sure.
And this is like a big we play footsies.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a big spoiler. But this is, I don't even know what season this would be.
I'll tell
Probably
you.
like, yeah, you would probably know. But basically Jackson's supposed to get married and he fucking
April's getting married.
Oh, April gets married, right.
Yeah.
April gets married
9.
and what, season 9?
No, season 10. It's when it's Christina's like last season. Because
Okay.
Mary and Christina are like
Yeah, so if
fighting.
you haven't seen season 10 yet, don't watch it.
What's good though?
But April's supposed to get married to this guy Matthew, and they're like perfect for each other, like dead ass. They're just like so good
Too
together.
true. He drives he's like a EMT,
Yeah.
ambulance guy.
And then like her and Jackson like decide that they're in love, and they like
When
run
he
off
stands
together.
up at that
Dude,
wedding,
it's fucking
it is
bullshit.
hot. I'm like,
He can
"Ooh,
do so
yeah,
much better than her.
uh-huh."
It like pisses me off.
I don't
But I think it's
know.
because I hate her. Like I think I just really am struggling to get past of like how annoying she was.
He stands up, and I haven't seen this episode in a while, but like a cover of 500 Miles plays, and it's like so good, and then they run off, and it's like, well, now what? It's
Yeah.
like that was so stupid. That's where Derek gets the call that he has to go to DC for like the brain stuff, and that's where that goes all downhill.
The
Could have done
show-
that episode and just cried for an hour.
No, like I remember that episode, and I
think that's the most like gut wrenching for no reason episode. Like Derek just like didn't, or Patrick Dempsey just like that whole his exit was sketchy. Like he didn't get what he wanted, or he just didn't feel like doing it anymore, or something. And it's like that. I don't mind if you kill him off or whatever, but it was so abrupt. Like he wasn't in a lot of episodes, and then they just kill him off, and they kill him in like a hero way, which is good. But it's like my Derek wouldn't have been gone for that long. So, but they had to do with what they could with the actor. But
yeah,
I love you, Patrick Dempsey.
I know, I love him.
I like
too.
Ellen Pompeo better.
Yeah.
She's my gal.
Yeah, I like her too, actually. But yeah, Derek's
If
fucking
you could
hot.
marry one guy on the show, who would you marry? And girl.
Wow, I think I would marry Derek.
Okay.
It's tough between him and Mark because my God,
Mark might cheat on you though.
and that
even
was
if
what
he
I-
loves you to death.
That's what I was thinking.
He can't help it.
He's hard to love,
He is.
or maybe, yeah. So definitely Derek,
Super mixed.
and I would marry Teddy.
Okay. I would do Lexi and maybe now Alex,
You should have said Mark, and then you guys could have really just all made it work together.
right? But probably, I don't want to say Derek. Jackson's so whiny.
I know. Yeah, this has turned into a dating podcast.
Marry, fuck, kill. Let's play.
Oh my God, kill April Kepner until she is deader than dead.
God.
Fuck
There's worse
her.
characters.
Huh?
There's worse characters.
I don't know.
I mean, not like main characters. I agree. She gets fired twice, so I mean, and the episode I was going to choose is the one she gets fired in. I saw what I saw is like the one where it's shot in all different perspectives, and there's one of the just patients dies in the beginning, and they're like, whose patient was this? And then they go back and show the entire night, but from everyone's different perspectives, and like tossing this one patient around, and she ends up dying, but it ends up being April's fault. She gets fired. And then when they take their exams to become attending, she doesn't pass, so they can't hire her. She fails it. That's a crazy episode too.
Yeah.
There's so many good episodes.
Yeah. Something about like, I'm trying to like think of how to word this without sounding like a psychopath, but like something about like
Try me.
episodes where there's like a shooter and like
One
something-
Tree Hill shooter episode.
Yeah, like I used to say that the shooter episode of One Tree Hill was like one of my favorite episodes, and like saying it out
emotions-
loud is
yeah.
like, what the
It's
fuck?
because the emotions are just high, and
Dude.
you're like, they do a good job. Like I said, like music wise, like the tension is so high, and you're just waiting for something to happen. Even in moments where nothing's happening, you're just like so anxious that's what makes those episodes so good.
I know.
So
I
well
don't know
done.
why, but I was like waiting for the song. the song Hide and Seek to play.
Hide and Seek by like Imogen Heap or whatever.
Matt, can
Play
you
that
play
in
a
the
clip?
background.
Can you play a clip of that song?
Play that in the background. We're,
Just
we're
like-
gonna get sued.
Yeah, like I was like, I
ask
don't
for
know why.
royalties.
Like I'm just waiting for it to be like, spin me round.
I love that.
And
They
I-
should have.
I know, but they
That's
didn't.
good.
I was like, what the fuck?
I always say like a dream job of mine would be hired to do like music for a show.
Yeah.
Like Grey's Anatomy music. After every single Grey's Anatomy episode, I go onto Tune Find and look at every song on the episode and add some to my playlist. Fire ass songs, baby.
Yeah.
Dream job.
Yeah.
Hire me. Somebody hire me.
Dylan,
Do you think
are
they're
you
listening? Dylan, get me a different job.
I'm trying to look back to see what other notes I had. I mean, we really like talked about everything. As much as like it seems like this episode was like us just like rambling, we really did cover a lot of the shit that happened.
I know. This one is different than felt different than Hill House. We really
Yeah.
it took a lot to just explain the episode. The Hill House one kind of was like, here's the gist of the show, and let's
Yeah.
just like talk about text messages, like chain messages.
Yeah, then we talked about how my grandmom sends chain messages to me all the time.
Yeah.
But basically, you know, these two episodes, it's like such fucking heartthrob. Like you're just like dying. Like
Yeah.
you're just like, this is just so terrible. And then the icing on the fucking cake is that fucking Meredith has a miscarriage.
Yeah. So
And you're just
I
like,
mean,
really,
she's
as if
just
this
so,
hasn't been enough.
she is so fucked up, like Twisted Sisters. Like they're both just so fucked up that she's having a miscarriage. And April's face is so like, should we do something? And Mary's just like, this is just like not even on my top 10 worst things that have ever happened to me. So
Yeah, and I guess
did.
in like her perspective, like she's like, I'd rather have like my husband and like survive this than
Sure, but it is good. Like the very beginning of the first episode, she finds out. The very end of the last episode, she like looks at the pregnant pea stick. I can't think of what it's called.
pregnancy test. The
And
pregnancy
then throws
pea
it away.
stick. Oh my
the
god.
pea stick.
Can
Well,
you-
I like that when Christine was like, why does he get special? You squatted over a toilet and peed on it. Why does he get special? I love it. She's like, I want to see the bitch baby tears.
Yeah.
Bitch baby tears is something they bring up constantly on grades. Like they keep, I think that's the first time they say it, but then they keep referring to it. It's like a coined. Shonda Rhimes like coined that. Bitch baby tears. She says it in her like Year of Yes. But have you ever read her Year of Yes book? It's good. Didn't make me say yes to anything else. It's basically the whole premise is she did a year of saying yes to things that like scared her. Like she did Dartmouth commencement speech, like things like that. And I was like, damn, I'm inspired, but I didn't change any way that I lived, not for 1 second. So, but it's very good. She has a whole chapter on how Christina is like based off of her best friend in real life, or her. Now I can't remember. Like if she's the Christina, I can't remember. But anyway, it's like a whole chapter on Christina, and if you love Christina, like everybody should, then you should read that book. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I know. Christina and Meredith just together is just so good.
Yeah.
Like just their overall relationship. They just rock.
Yeah, like it kind of, so people draw parallels to like in the season 3 finale, Didn't We Almost Have It All, is when Burke leaves her at the altar. And so Christina's like freaking out in her wedding dress, and Merrick like rips her out of it and kind of like holds her back like from like sobbing. And then they draw parallels to when Derek's about to get shot and Christina's like grabbing her from behind and like ripping her away. But
Yeah.
it's good. It's really good. So much drama in this show. It is. I mean, it's out of. I kind of compare it to One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill is like even worse. I would think 9 seasons of just like cars flying off of bridges and just stupid shit
Just
that would never
crazy.
happen.
Yeah.
But Grey's is like, okay, let's think of any natural disaster we could ever think of and just put it in an episode and we'll be good.
Right.
Drama.
So much drama.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that Christina's your favorite character.
Yeah.
Who is
But
your
Lexi and Sloane are like, they weren't on it long enough. Lexi comes in the season 3 finale, like when George fails. That's when you're introduced to Lexi. Sloane's like season 2, but they both die in 10. Sloane's been on it long enough, I guess. Sloane and Callie is like a really good relationship for me.
Yeah.
I love when they have the kid. I love the musical episode, which people hate. I'm a big fan. I had those songs on my iPod. I can
I know.
like sing the like words that they're singing in the back, like they're singing a song, but then they're like, he's in B-Fib, like in the back. I can like I memorize them all.
That episode is so bad.
It's so amazing,
and you love
really
it.
bad.
It's so bad. Like it's just like, what is happening?
Yeah,
and then like
Bridget just watched it last night and she texted me and was like, I wish this wasn't the content of the musical episode. Like, why is this tragic thing the musical episode? I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right. Like, it's literally like Callie's half dead. Like, she's just like so fucked up, just ripped to shreds, and she's just like singing over her body. It's like,
I know. Is
okay,
doesn't it start with them singing the Chasing Cars song?
Nobody knows. No, they sing the theme song of, it's like, nobody knows where we might end up. I'm not gonna sing it. My voice is like really shot.
Wait, don't they sing?
They do. They sing How to Save a Life, Chasing Cars. They sing Brandy Carlisle song, The Story. They sing 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. 2 a.m. and she calls me 'cause I'm still awake.
Matt, where's your guitar? Bring that over here.
Yeah, they sing a bunch of good ones. And then they're like, I like the one that's like Alex. And he's like, something tells me your name is Lucy. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know, but you just sounded like Christina Aguilera. That was incredible.
That's what I was going for. That was incredible.
Crushed it.
You get this girl up.
Yeah, musical episodes just kill me. Like I
love it.
I mean,
Riverdale.
Yeah, like very off topic,
which
but
Riverdale musical episode are you talking about?
When it's about the farm.
Oh God, Christ Almighty!
I know
Riverdale is so bad,
it
like
tanked.
so unbelievably bad.
But I'm still trying to like catch up.
If we want to have like a bashing Riverdale episode, I'll do it because I sneaky love it, but it's like my worst guilty pleasure of my entire life.
It's just gotten really bad. Season 1 was so good.
Producer Matt just told us that the Grey's Anatomy musical episode was ranked the second worst musical episode in history. Only next to is the Seventh Heaven musical episode,
which I've never seen.
Me neither, and I'm doing that as my next episode.
Seventh Heaven. When I see the happy faces.
Oh my
That's
God.
the theme song.
That is like, I feel like I'm 10 years old listening to you sing that. Keep going.
I don't know the words. I'm getting stage fright. When I see the happy faces smiling
This
back
is class
at
of 2011's headed for stardom.
We're headed for Burger King.
Which is what a girl in our grade said.
Someone
we're like
told me.
headed to Burger King.
Burger King.
Burger King.
So
is that the most savage thing to say to somebody?
God, it's so
like,
fucking rude.
Like, should we
especially
name drop her?
because like, especially because like, okay, something really big happened in that girl's life and everyone was mean about it. And I
don't even know what you're talking about.
I just fucking said homecoming court. What do we?
Something big happened.
She got on homecoming court.
Is that what we consider something big happening in somebody's life now?
When you're a senior and okay, whatever.
I was like, if I'm on it, I'll die. Please don't. That's not why I wasn't on it, but I'm glad.
Kathleen's like, don't vote for me.
Don't vote for me.
No, but whatever. So I was nice, and then I got headed for stardom.
I want to know how you were nice. Tell me more about this, please.
Well, I said congratulations.
You deserve a medal of honor.
And I know, I kind of felt the same way. And she only thought that I deserved making Whoppers for the rest of my life. So she's
not wrong.
Fuck her.
And look at us now. How many episodes have you recorded?
13.
13. This is number 13?
The 13th year.
This will be like the 15th or 16th.
Oh, yeah. The 13th year. Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie. Foreshadowing for what we're going to talk about on another episode. I love that movie.
It's going to be so awkward when this one comes out after that one. All right. Well, that wraps it up for today.
Yeah.
Kathleen, as always, true pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for everyone who listened, and tune in for another episode next week.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.